This thing is just amazing to me. All my devices, got my drone charging, my other battery pack charging, my refrigerator going, and all free by just pulling electricity out of the sunlight. I don't understand it, but I approve. So when you're camping, you tend to get all MacGyver on it. Kids today probably won't know what that means, but so I got my solar set up here. The sun is up there, and move the solar panels throughout the day. Now, you can leave them just pointing south. If you maneuver them through the day, you get a lot better results, like up to 30% more power. And when you're off grid, you know, power is everything, you know, at least to sustain our type of life, you know. But anyways, if you move these throughout the day, these things right here angle, and it kind of tells, you know, each one, like the first one's 30 degrees and then it goes on to 80 degrees or something like that. But I don't really use that. You know, and you can unbutton it and button it into these holes right here. But I just kind of first use common sense, you know, pointing it at the sun. But then I have this. Now, I did some research on what's the best way to aim solar panels. They said the best way to aim solar panels is by buying this device on Amazon or whatever, you know. I'm like, I ain't buying no device when I can just see the sun. But I made one of those devices. So how I use this is you put it, if I can get the camera to cooperate, you put it right here. So I got it just kind of hanging from the top. And as long as it's not casting a shadow, it's perfectly aligned with the sun. You want the sun rays to be perpendicular to the solar panels. Now, it's perfectly aligned right now because, as you can see, there's no shadow, or we'll say very little shadow, on either side. Now this one is kind of gimpy. There's a little bit more shadow on this one because it's not exactly aimed correctly. But as you can see, the rest of them don't have a shadow. This, I don't know if it's bent or what, but this one doesn't like to stand up straight. Sometimes I got to put something behind it to get it to cooperate. Sometimes I'll put this water bottle behind it. Because even just that little bit, you can kind of see how it's bent down. Even that little bit can affect your solar collection. So now it's a little bit better. So that's how I do it. And I'll move it throughout the day because the sun is up here and it moves across the sky to this way. And so I'll tilt it throughout the day. And so far, now I'm probably going to get one of those small, really small Honda generators. They're like $600, but it's definitely all I need. But all I would need it for is like rainy days, you know. And they have them that run on regular gas and propane. So I'll probably get one of those eventually. But I've been doing this for almost a month, and this is all I've had for power. This is just a huge battery. It's a solar generator, but the panels are plugged into it right here through this wire. And for a whole month, minus those 2 days I was in a hotel. This is what I've used for power. I don't use my car to charge anything. Now, when I'm driving, I do have a cigarette lighter adapter that I will plug in, and it will charge while I'm driving. But I mean, I've been here for almost a week, and this is the only thing I've had, and it has kept me going the whole time. Now, you can add up to 2 more of these panels. Now, one thing is, these are 200, all of these together are 200 watts. So each one of these panels, there's 4 panels, and these fold up to make it easy to carry. And each one of those is 50 watts, so a total of 200 watts. In the peak of the day, will only be getting like between 140 and 160 watts, but they're supposed to be collecting 200 watts. And I asked AI about it, and they said, well, it's atmospheric conditions, and 200 is the peak performance, but I've never seen it get that high. About 186 is the highest I've ever seen it. It's funny because, like, you know, I've been following the RV community and Nomad community for years, you know, like 13 years. And I always wonder, why do they keep talking about how much watts everything draws? And, you know, they put so much emphasis into it. And now I get it, because it's definitely something you have to pay attention to. So you really kind of have to know what wattage everything draws. That's important so you don't mess up any of your equipment. But also, all of these plugs have different power, have different wattages to them. And of course, this is 12 volt, you know, and then all these have different wattages. And you really kind of need to know. Now, the app does a lot of the math for you, so, you know, you don't have to really worry about it. But if you didn't have that app, you know, you would really need to know how much everything is drawing. And like right now, I'm bringing in about 106 watts, but I'm putting out 132 watts. So I'm actually negative right now. So it's actually draining the battery. But as it gets brighter, you know, during the day, the sun's still kind of low, but it will go up and up and up. And typically, like in the heat of the day, I get a good 4 hours of about 160 watts. And it doesn't charge it to 100%. Let's see what it is right now. It's at 19% right now, but of course it's been going on all night, you know. It doesn't charge at night, but it's at 19% now, and we'll see what it is tonight. You know, it probably won't be any more than 40 or 50%. But it's enough, you know. I don't need 100% all the time. That's not what batteries are for, you know, so they're meant to be used. But it has a computer in it, and it's app controlled. So if you do something wrong, if you plug something in wrong, it doesn't let you do it. It does have a circuit breaker in it too. I had bought, it will run this fan that I got from Walmart. This fan right here will run it. But also, like, it has, so here's a circuit breaker button right here. Birds are going to start fighting. If you trip the circuit breaker, you just push that. But you can also plug it into power right there. And so like at the hotel or at a, not hotel, but campsite, if you're at an actual campground, this is dispersed camping, so they don't have any power here. But if you're at a campground, then you would have power, and you can plug it in and it will power everything infinitely. They'll charge it to 100%, and then it will shut off the batteries and just act as an inverter. He always was talking wattage and voltage, you know, and I'm like, just shut up and plug stuff in, you know. But it don't work that way. You really have to know all that kind of stuff. And thankfully I got one that has an app, and and the app really does all the work for me. But it's really cool. It's got pretty much everything on it, and other than a couple days in the hotel, and while I spent a week at a campground, and of course I was plugged into the power there. They have a little post at every site, and you can plug in there. But I've been out here for over a week and I've not run out of power. You know, it's been working really well. So, but yeah, I always wondered why they were always spewing all the wattage stuff, and now I know. Now, another thing you can do is look at your Google Maps and get your longitude. So right now I'm at longitude 47 point whatever, and that is the exact degree that makes you perpendicular to the sun. So if you could actually get a compass or a protractor, whichever one of those works, and set that to 40 degrees, 47 degrees, you'll be perpendicular with the sun.